if it is close, you ought to have a right, a legal right to be able to ask questions and not be thrown in jail because of it. In fact, this is something that even Hillary would insist that you have the right to do, right? Because didn't she tell Joe Biden back in August of 2020 on a podcast that he needed to cling on to things no matter what? I do believe these were her words. In fact, don't take my word for it. Let's listen.
You know, Joe Biden should not concede under any circumstances because I think this is going to drag out, and eventually I do believe he will win if we don't give an inch.
You see? So that used to be allowed. In fact, there was a whole thing, right, with Al Gore and Bush and the hanging chads in Florida, and Alan Dershowitz, the professor from Harvard of law, who's actually come out very much in defense of Donald Trump, has said, look, you know, I had the legal right to do that. And you should have the legal right to ask questions, and it shouldn't immediately be, okay, now you're going to jail. But that's sort of what's about to transpire in just a very short amount of time. They're going to go book him there, and they're going to take his mugshot and the whole 9 yards. And it's not going to be a pretty look, not for this country. They did this to Giuliani, of course, yesterday. Here's his response. I mean, don't forget the context around this. Giuliani actually made New York a very, very safe place. Rudy Giuliani cleaned up the streets like you wouldn't believe. Crime was reduced. Families decided to live there, mine included, because it was a good place. Imagine that, to raise kids. Boy, I'm happy I'm not there anymore, right? But there was a time when it was considered safe. Those days are gone. It is a mess. Here is Giuliani. Imagine this. Booked with a mugshot, the whole 9 yards. Here he is speaking just yesterday. We're going to hear from Trump shortly.
To Georgia, and I'm feeling very, very good about it because I feel like I'm defending the rights of all Americans, as I did so many times as a United States attorney. People like to say I'm different. I'm the same Rudy Giuliani that took down the mafia, that made New York City the safest city in America, reduced crime more than any mayor in the history of any city, anywhere. And I'm fighting for justice. I have been from the first moment. I represented Donald Trump, an innocent man who has now been proven innocent several times. I don't know how many times he has to be proven innocent, and they have to be proven to be liars, actually enemies of our republic, who are destroying rights, sacred rights. They're destroying my right to counsel, my right to be a lawyer. They're destroying his right to counsel. It's not accidental that they've indicted all his lawyers. Never heard of that before in America.
I'm sorry, Mr. Vice President, have you, I know you're running for president. You are...
That was a little clip, a little brief. That was Tucker and Pence. He kind of ruined his political chances, but we didn't mean to show that. I've showed you that a few times, including, I think, in just yesterday's show. So you're welcome to watch it again. But look, I think that here's the reality. They are going after Donald Trump because he represents a total threat to the establishment. He's not one of them, just like Vivek Ramaswamy is not one of them. And you have to be part of the system. You have to come up through, you know, the donor class where they're telling you what you can okay or not okay policy-wise. And when you get the wild card in there that just says, hey, I'm going to do things my way, well, then that becomes a big, big problem. Hey everyone, Trish Regan here. If you enjoyed that clip, please do me the favor of subscribing to the channel. Just hit that little subscribe button right over there. Did I do that right? Not quite, but you know where it is. Subscribe to the channel, hit the bell so that you get the alerts, and I'll see you back on the show.